Did I make it in time? I did!
Oh, did it do the thing this time?
I think it did the thing right.
You know what's so
It's a terrible high
It was
five.
really bad. Let's do it again. So much
Oh! That was crisp. Come here, Archie.
You know what's so funny? Editing all those podcasts this week, which I finally did.
Yes, you are getting new Spotify. It's happening.
Basically, at least 80% of them starts with you saying, "It did the thing again," which is really entertaining.
I like anyone know when the stream is starting, popping right up.
I hope this answered your question.
I hope the audio sounds good for you guys, at least good enough. We are working with a brand new studio. I've changed up the equipment a little bit, so let me know in the chat if we need to adjust the audio. If it's catastrophic, we can do it now, but if it's something you guys can live with for this podcast, awesome.
If you haven't noticed yet, the walls are bare, but in that crate behind us is all of the sound paneling that we had to take out in the last one.
Not all of the sound paneling.
Right,
there's also 2 contractor bags.
Yes, I forgot those that I filled up.
Yeah, so, and I just ordered 36 more.
Let's go!
And also, I got one that is like a forest scene, like a misty forest scene kind of deal. What?
He wants to come up
Come on.
I think, with you.
Come on.
He was
There's like a
up
misty,
earlier.
like Appalachian forest scene, some pine trees.
Oh, the thing I
yeah.
sent you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
It's gonna be fun.
No, that was a tapestry.
Was it? I thought they were the canvas things.
Were they?
Yeah.
Oh. Maybe I'm just stupid.
Maybe I'm
Entirely
stupid.
possible. Yeah. So,
Maybe we're both stupid.
in case you guys are wondering why another stream about the Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie case, you just did one in July. Well, the reason is because they're in the news again. What for? Possibly the most out-of-touch comments I've ever heard from the family of a criminal.
I do love that you said just did one in July as if several things have not changed since then.
What? What changed?
So much of the Lore Lodge in general.
Oh, yeah.
Also, it's November.
Oh, right. That was July. We had like 40,000 less subscribers.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, so I guess this is going to be the first time for a lot of you hearing this. For those of you who haven't been following us for as long, a little over a year ago, I guess September 2021, I was pretty big on TikTok by then, but we weren't where we are now.
When did it happen originally? What
It was
was
September.
September?
I think she was reported missing like September 10th or 11th, 2021.
I feel like it might have been August, but yeah, you were pretty large on TikTok.
I had like 700 something.
Yeah, at the very least.
Yeah, I was getting there, but I wasn't. Yeah, we didn't have as big a YouTube channel. We were probably still floating around 10 or 15,000 subscribers on YouTube.
I think she went missing in August. I don't know when it was.
She was last heard from August, I want to say 25th,
Okay.
2021.
I'm gonna look it up.
And then she was officially reported missing the week of September 11th.
Right.
I will admit I did not go back through my notes on this case before this show because that's not really the point of what we're doing here. The goal here is not to retell the story in its entirety from start to finish because honestly, if we do that, I will probably cry again like last time because, I think it's important for me to express how I became involved with this as something other than a true crime, missing persons, paranormal podcaster. When I first started out, I was talking about the missing 411 phenomenon, Native American folklore, and the national parks, and how these 3 things seem to have a connection to me. In my opinion, these are not unrelated, topics.
Yeah.
And I'd had a few pretty decently viral videos, several million views, about that whole concept. So I was quickly becoming, outside of Mr. Ballin, as he was transitioning away from Mr. 411, as he was transitioning away, I hate that. As he was transitioning away from missing 411 content, I kind of got into it. And I'll admit, like, I was made aware of the phenomenon by Mr. Ballin.
Yeah.
But as he explained on our show, back in last October, he basically got into a dispute with David Paulides. I don't know the details of it, but from what I understand, it caused him to step away from that kind of content. He wasn't forced to or anything. He just decided, you know what, I'm going to go for something else. As I understand it, David Paulides kind of blew up on him a little bit over the whole thing. I don't know the details though. He was very respectful of Paulides' privacy and all of that. Point of the matter is, when Gabby went missing, her little brother reached out to me on Snapchat, because I used to have my Snapchat in my link tree. That was a terrible idea. I don't know why I thought that was a good plan. I thought I was gonna like do the Snapchat stories thing.
Yeah, to be fair, that was early on.
Yeah, that was.
We didn't realize that we were gonna be like.
We didn't expect
whatever we are.
This at the time. He was still living at home, and I was living.
Oh my god, I was.
Yeah, when we first launched the show, you were still living at home, and I was living in a tiny one-bedroom apartment in downtown Phoenixville.
Yep.
As you can see behind me, we've expanded a bit. This is the bedroom in a some 1,200 square foot loft. So
you have a loft in your loft.
Yeah, it's not just like a loft in the. I don't know what the hell a loft means to New Yorkers, but it's not what a loft is.
Yeah.
So I have an upstairs now, and this is basically what we're getting more professional every day, which is nice.
To be fair, the upstairs isn't really like rooms; it's more of a balcony inside.
Yeah, and I have a bed. My bed's up there. The rest of the place is basically dedicated to this.
This is the only other room than the main room in the place, and we obviously need to prioritize this for the studio because
I can sleep anywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, to get back to the topic of tonight, I'm sorry this is kind of like going on and on. We should do a just cut and dry tell the whole story video again with the newer information. We did last August or not August. We did last
it was October or November.
October or November.
Yep. Yeah, we might as well do an update.
It must have been October because I was in the new place in November, and that video was filmed in my parents' basement.
Yeah.
So
there we go.
Yeah, so we have a video that recaps the entire story. It's something along the lines of Chris Laundrie, You're a Coward is the title. Yep. Chris Laundrie being Brian's father. And that video tells the whole story. Feel free to go watch it. We'll do an updated version probably soon because this is back in the news. But what happened for me was Gabby's little brother TJ reached out to me and asked me to post about it. And he was very, very respectful, very much like, you absolutely don't have to, but I would really appreciate it. My sister's missing. We want to find her. And this is the kind of stuff you talk about. She went missing in a national park. And my immediate reaction was, of course, like, why would I not? But there is no detriment to me doing this.
Yeah. That's it. It's
the worst thing that happens is we find her.
Also, like, literally, the best thing that could ever happen with this channel is people asking us for help to find missing persons.
Yeah, that's
it's not our goal, but if we can do that by a product of us getting an audience, that's fantastic. I would much prefer to tell stories about people who went missing and were found than tell stories about people who did not survive. Yep. That's where we said, that's why I'm working on this compilation for missing and murdered Indigenous women and all of that. But yeah, TJ reached out to me and said, hey, here's the information. Would you mind posting about it? And I did. And when I posted that video, that first one, the hashtag Find Gabby and the associated ones, there were 3 videos from her friends and family. I posted mine, and then there were 4. And then a few days later, it was national news. I don't think I'm the reason it was national news, but I at no point expected that to turn into what it did. But as a result, I have had a front seat to everything. For better and for worse, I've had a front seat to the entire episode as it's unfolded, and have been in close contact with TJ and Gabby's mother throughout. So when I got the notification, I think it was from Daily Mail or something, it was Apple News. When I got the notification that the Laundrie family was talking about how insensitive and disrespectful it was for Jeopardy to have the question in 2021, in 2021, fugitive Brian Laundrie ended his life in the Maiakichi. The point was in the Everglades, which is home to these long toothy reptiles. Now, I will say that was absolutely a dig by the writers. Oh, but a hilarious dig.
Yeah, they knew
props to Jeopardy for that.
They knew precisely what they were doing.
Also, for those curious,
I support it.
Exactly. For those curious, the answer would be, what is alligator?
Yes. Which is why the TikTok video I did about this was titled Alligator Tears. It was a play on crocodile tears.
Love that.
So that question came out. The Laundrie family, his parents and his sister came out. And I will say this. it does seem like if anyone in the Laundrie camp is innocent in this, it is his older sister. I think her name's Cassidy. She seems to not have been participating in any of the cover-up stuff. I think she genuinely felt terrible about what happened.
Yep.
So I do feel for her a little bit, but his parents coming out and through their lawyer, not even themselves, through their lawyer, coming out and saying, "Oh, you know, this was so disrespectful, and we can't believe you do this. You know, how could you? It's so insensitive." And my immediate reaction was I laughed first, and then I felt furious. Because what happened in this case, to give you the Cliff's Notes version of the whole story, not as I experienced it, but as it turned out to have happened, Gabby and Brian, you know what, I'll give Brian's version of the story, not the one I think happened.
Do that, and then
I'll give my version.
Yes.
But Brian's version of the story, according to his confession from his suicide, because he's definitely not in Greece avoiding extradition. The story was that he and Gabby, close to sunset, were coming back from their hike. They went to cross a creek. She slipped and hit her head. Was concussed, became hypothermic, and he kept trying to warm her up, but she kept shaking. He got her back to the fire and tried to warm her up that way, and she just wasn't, responding or getting better. So he decided that, he should just put her out of her misery.
Pause. If something happens while you're in a national park and you've got a functioning van, leave and go to a hospital. Doesn't matter what percentage of a chance you think whatever individual you're with might have at survival. The right thing to do is preserve their life, or at least their chance of it, not just say, you're probably done for.
Well, don't sugarcoat what he did either. Putting someone out of their misery if they're gravely wounded and you can't get them to a hospital is dropping a 100-pound boulder on their head, or shooting them, or even slitting somebody's throat is pretty violent, and they'll die quick, but it's still gonna hurt, and panic them and everything. He strangled her. I don't know if you guys have ever been in a situation where someone's been trying to cause harm to you by choking you, or have tried to choke someone out. It's not like the movies where you wrap your arm around, you hold the back of their head, and you clamp them like this for 5 seconds, and then that's not how strangulation works.
No.
If you were to put legitimate strangulation on film, if you were to show somebody how that works, it takes a minute at the very least, and that's if you crush their windpipe.
Yeah.
If you're just strangling them, cutting off airflow, they can survive for 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, it takes a long time to strangle someone.
Mm-hmm.
There is no way that he chose that way to put her out of her misery.
Yeah. The only way for people to lose consciousness quickly would be in the example of like a rear naked choke, where you're not cutting off airflow, you're cutting off blood flow to the head.
Yeah.
And you can pass out pretty quickly from that, but you're not going to die quickly.
It's still going to take a minute or so to pass out from that.
Yeah.
Like, your brain, consider it this way, like, you can be underwater for 3 minutes and survive. Most people on average can hold their breath for 3 minutes in a life or death scenario. Obviously cutting off the blood flow is going to cut off oxygen. It's still going to take a solid minute or so before your brain shuts down.
Yeah.
And then you're going to come to pretty quick.
Yep.
That means that Brian they were able to determine from her autopsy that it was death by strangulation, which means it was violent.
Yeah.
And we know that Brian and Gabby had a history of fights. There have been times where Gabby showed up with bruises. There were times when Brian was abusive to waitstaff, especially females. All of this was recorded. All of this was put out there as public information. So what I think when I look at that confession of his is that at the very most charitable, what he did was not out of mercy, but out of fear. That he was scared that if he took her in, after that police altercation, like a month earlier, if he took her into the hospital, and she was injured, that he might be a suspect. He was terrified of that, and that's why he killed her. But you know what I really think happened? My honest opinion about what happened here? They got in a fight over something. Yep. Brian shoved her. She hit her head, went unresponsive, and he strangled her to keep her quiet. Because there's no possible way that you think it is better to kill someone in an extraordinarily violent manner than to pray that you make it to the hospital in time. It was selfish. It was violent. It was evil.
Yep.
And the fact that this kid's parents had the audacity to come out after, and let's also, like, if you're not aware of how this story goes down, what we knew when it first happened, the information I was given, was we haven't heard from Gabby on the phone, I think it was, since like August 25th. Or it might have been like they heard from her last via text on the 25th, and she had called a few days before that. Or I'm trying to remember the exact details, but I remember it was something like they had a phone call with her. A few days later, they got a text from her phone, but it didn't read like something Gabby would have said. And then Brian arrives back in, I want to say Northport, Florida, with Gabby's car, with Gabby's phone, with Gabby's wallet, but not with Gabby. As soon as Brian got back, his parents should have contacted the Petitos. Regardless of what Brian said. Somebody should have told them. They chose not to. And when the Petitos hadn't heard from Gabby in a while, they reached out to the Laundries, and what they were told was basically, Brian's here, but we're not talking to you. Then, as the investigation turned from, Gabby is missing to Gabby is dead, and the police started to consider Brian as a suspect and not, a victim himself, the Laundries refused to cooperate with police. They wouldn't hand over anything that was asked. They demanded a warrant. Basically, listen, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that if somebody avoids self-incrimination, that they're doing the wrong thing. Because you have that right. But the fact that they kept everything so hush-hush that they basically cut the Petitos out, that they definitely knew what happened. They knew Brian killed her.
Yeah.
There's not a doubt in my mind that they knew Brian killed her. It's just so incredibly evil.
Yeah, I can understand wanting to preserve loyalty to a family or a family member, but that doesn't include when someone in your family murders someone.
Yeah. And listen, if this was a different kind of situation, like Brian got himself involved with some bad people, and he had to kill somebody in self-defense, then I can understand it. Yeah. No, he killed his girlfriend. He murdered his girlfriend, ran home, and then hid from the cops. And then, interestingly enough, he ran off into the wilderness. And his parents knew where he went. They were able to tell the cops, last we heard he was going here. And then they did not find Brian until after at least a week. It might have been 2 whole weeks of searching.
I believe, based off my recollection of this case, especially when we were discussing it about this time last year, I believe it was about 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was 10 to 14 days, if I remember correctly. And he disappears the moment they find Gabby's body.
Yep.
The moment they find her body, I think he realized he was not going to get away with this. He was not going to be able to say she wandered off or she was kidnapped and I came home and I was just so distraught that I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
He knew when they found her body he was not getting out of this.
Mm-hmm.
He goes into the Everglades.
One key detail before he goes into the Everglades is that I believe it was about a week. He was in his family's home.
Yeah.
And the police, I believe at that point, the FBI, were trying to communicate through them to him or trying to find him. And the family continued to say, you're not allowed in this house without a warrant, this, that, or whatever. He's not here, all this stuff. So, in reality, he's at the house for over a week. Then the body's found.
Yeah, exactly.
Then disappears.
Thank you for clarifying that.
No.
Yeah, I always have trouble telling this story because it's
very good,
close to home. Brian disappears. He goes off into the Everglades. So the parents say. FBI, local police, state police spend almost 2 weeks searching for him. They don't find him. Finally, after his parents insist, we can find him. We can help you find him. We know we can find him. It took a team of a couple hundred professionals 2 weeks to comb through this area, and they found nothing.
Do you remember what the square mile radius was?
I don't remember how big the wilderness preserve he was on is particularly. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because he was found within 30 minutes by his parents, like a mile from the entrance to the park.
Yeah.
All of his stuff was torn up.
Real quick, before we in any way potentially glaze over that.
Yeah.
2 weeks of searching.
By professionals.
And it was a large search party. I don't remember the exact number.
A couple hundred people.
No evidence whatsoever. Nothing.
Oh, look, Wendigoon's here.
Hey!
Hey, guy.
After 2 weeks of many different researchers covering a wide area and finding absolutely no evidence, within 30 minutes of the parents showing up. 30 minutes. They show up, 30 minutes later, they find him. And all of his stuff.
And the stuff is not intact. No. It's been torn apart. His tent's been torn apart. His bag has not been torn apart. His body has been torn apart. They find skull fragments and a few teeth.
Yep.
And basically everything is immediately brought into an FBI evidence locker. Months later. Literally like 8 months later. I think it was July. Late June, early July. The FBI allows the attorneys in because there's been a lawsuit, so the FBI allows the attorneys in, and they start doing all their discovery stuff, looking through the materials. And one of the things they find is Brian Laundrie's notebook, in which is scribbled a rather incoherent confession that of what I told you earlier in the program, that Gabby slipped and fell, and just out of mercy, Brian had to strangle her to death. It makes no sense. No. Also, carry a gun if you're going hiking places, partially for wild animals and partially because, I don't know, if one of your friends needs to be put out of their misery, it's a lot better to shoot them than to strangle them to death.
Yeah. Or, like I said earlier, try everything you can to
obviously that's the best option, is try everything you can.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Gabby, utter tragedy what happened to her. I do not believe for a single goddamn second that Brian Laundrie is dead. I think his parents went into that swamp and they were like, oh, well, the area he was in had been submerged in water. No, it hadn't. Also, it doesn't get submerged in enough water to hide a tent. It took them a while to do DNA tests. DNA tests eventually came back and said that, yeah, one of those bone fragments was Brian's. I had a very, very, very difficult time corroborating that with anything other than media stories.
Yeah.
Obviously, the report itself on his DNA is not publicly available. I'm sure that the Petito family, the Schmidt family, will be able to get access to the original records. I can't.
You are?
Yeah. Oh, I think they will.
Really?
Yeah.
I would hope so.
Now, I will say this. The first thing to confirm Brian's identity, or the identity of that corpse in the bog, was dental records. I am not at liberty to tell you guys who confirmed the dental records and said this was Brian. It is some of the most corrupt shit I've ever heard in my life.
There is serious reason to doubt the validity of that confirmation.
Yeah. Everything you've seen on the internet about crime families is at play here. That is all I can say.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, what happened here is that, and I'm not coming for Brian anymore, because there's, I don't give a shit. He's dead, or he's as good as dead. I don't think we'll ever find him.
No.
Because there are multiple countries in Europe where Brian could blend in. He could look enough like the people there that nobody would bat an eye seeing him on the street. Now, if you went to, Nigeria, it'd be pretty easy to find a random bald white guy in Nigeria.
Yep.
Greece does not extradite to the United States. You know how I found that out?
Oh.
When all of this Me Too stuff was coming out and all of the stuff about celebrities and pedophilia, the Kevin Spacey thing that happened, specifically when the Kevin Spacey thing happened and everyone started saying, this is a lot of celebrities who are involved in pedophilia, Tom Hanks flew over to Greece and got Greek citizenship. Which, first of all, ruins every Tom Hanks movie for me. And second of all, is how I found out that Greece does not extradite to the U.S. Neither does Cyprus. So he could be...
This is the first I'm hearing of Tom Hanks.
He could be on any island in the Aegean. And we would never find him. And you might ask, well, how would he manage to survive? Would he be able to get a job? He doesn't know the language. His family's got money. They live in a wealthy suburb. They have a boat. They've got money. Brian's family is fine. They're well off. So what I'm coming for now, partially because it's the only way we'll ever find Brian.
Yep.
And, if Brian does get found, I promise you, if I manage to use my resources that I have to track that kid down, the right people are going to know where he is really quick.
Yeah.
That said, if by any chance this episode of this podcast reaches Chris Laundrie, you're my target now, buddy. You fucking scumbag coward. I hope that the people of Northport know to never give you rest, never serve you, never take whatever services you might offer, never buy your home. I hope you end your life in extreme abject poverty. And I really do hope, that Dante was onto something, because you belong deep in hell. And your wife. Both of you. That said, I feel bad for your daughter. Can't believe that you cowards would drag her into this. Make her name something nationally known. Can you imagine?
No.
Can you imagine being so selfish and conceited and evil that rather than just simply doing the right thing and telling the police, here's Brian. If he's innocent, he'll be able to show he's innocent. If he's not, he must face the consequences. Rather than doing that, rather than bringing closure to everyone involved, the Petitos, your own family, the rest of the country who got really locked in on this story.
Yep.
Instead of putting everything to bed and letting justice take its course, you chose to put Gabby's family, your daughter, all of Brian's friends, all of Gabby's friends, all of TJ's friends, the entire family, everybody, both of your towns in New York and in Florida, through so much pain because you were too scared to do the right thing. It is despicable. It's disgusting. And I really, really do hope that you live long enough to see Brian found and brought to justice. So that you live long enough to know that all of your efforts, all of your distractions, your illusions, all of your lies were completely in vain. I hope you live to watch this entire ridiculous circus you've created come crashing down in flames. And I hope it destroys your family.
You know what'd be really funny?
What?
Is if Brian is found and then manages to be brought back to the United States to be tried, and then in his own desire to cut a deal, admits that his parents helped him flee.
I would hope so.
So then they are charged with an accessory to murder.
Mm-hmm. And then we find a grassy knoll.
Yeah.
So, as far as the story with Brian goes, I could give a shit that his family's a little offended by a Jeopardy question. I hope there's a bit of a bittersweet, silver lining in this for the Petito family, that they get to laugh as Brian's family squirms over this.
Mm.
I really do hope that. But, I at this point, I think I've said all I can say about the case. I am currently, I'll post a link to it in our Discord. I'm currently, my birthday was last Thursday?
Today's the 16th, so then that would
be... Yeah, last Thursday. My birthday was the 10th. For my birthday, I put up a Facebook fundraiser for the Gabby Petito Foundation. I'll post a link to that. A number of people have already donated. I'm very grateful. We've raised about $100. Oh, what did he say?
He said, for the grassy knoll joke. This is why we're friends.
Yeah. So, yeah, that is. I think I can actually set the replay for this as a fundraiser as well.
That'd be great.
So I'll be doing that. For those who don't know, the Gabby Petito Foundation was founded in Gabby's honor, obviously, to ensure that this kind of thing doesn't happen again, or that we can at least fight it.
Yep.
The goal was to basically provide resources, and I'm trying to remember exactly what the website says off the top of my head, and I can't.
It's essentially helping the family with
No. It's not about helping the family with legal expenses.
No?
No, the Gabby Petito Foundation is organizing resources for particularly women. I don't know if it's only women, but I know it's particularly women who are in abusive situations, so that they can find the resources to get out, to relocate, to find therapy or help, whatever they need to do to get out of the situation they're in, so that nobody puts themselves in a position to have their fucking insane boyfriend shove them into a river and then kill them ever again. And that is a mission that I can wholeheartedly support.
Yeah. So
I very much would, I would appreciate, even if it's not through the fundraiser I post, if you, have a few extra dollars to spare to give to the Gabby Petito Foundation. It's a genuinely good mission put together by genuinely good people. And there's, I can't say enough good things about the Petito family. They are truly great people who have been put through an unimaginable tragedy. And if we can help their mission to preserve Gabby's memory in a way that saves lives, that is one of the most honorable things I can think of.
And just moving forward in relation to the Gabby Petito Foundation, just in terms of a broader scope, no one deserves to be abused in any way. And even if you don't have the spare money to donate, just at the very least in your own life, when you come across an instance where you are seeing something along those lines, or you suspect so, obviously with a gentle and cautious hand, make sure you understand the situation, understand what's going on with that individual, contact them if it's someone you know, ask if they're okay, And if it's clear that they don't have the ability to help themselves, do what you can to help them. Respect them, respect their situation. Some people, unfortunately, are too deep in it. They have difficulty accepting help.
It can be hard and it can be very scary.
Yes. And in that instance, there's a lot of discretion that's involved. But even though it can be very delicate of a situation, do what you can to try.
Yeah.
Do it respectfully, do it delicately, but nobody deserves to be treated in that manner.
No. With that said, it's about 7:45, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll switch things over, switch gears now. Go over the Q&A. The way that this works, for anybody who hasn't seen the show before, is that we take as many questions as we can before the show runs out, and we will get to as many super chats as possible.
Yes.
Let's say till we'll go till 8:15.
Yeah. Did we come up with?
We did not, but we're so behind on them at the moment that here's what I'm going to say. For the month of November, there will be one goal. There will be one goal. You know the goal.
Which one?
Should you hit $1,500 for the month of November?
I will remind you.
Actually, we'll say $2,000 because I just looked at the number there and they've already hit 1,000.
And I was just going to say, remember who's watching this right now.
For $70,000. Okay, but yeah, if you guys hit because this month has been a little different.
Yeah.
I'll do this. 1,500. I'll do the Twitch Catmade stream.
That's very generous of you.
I'll do it.
Do we want a 2,000?
And if you guys hit 2,000, then I mean they can put in a 2,000 if they want. But
yeah, if you guys want to submit ideas for 2,000, we will select one. And just in relation to,
do you want to go over the list?
Yes. So these are all things that are coming your way that we have committed to doing based off of donation goals prior that we just haven't previously had the time to actually dedicate
or
to
the money
doing yet, or the money.
YouTube takes a solid cut.
Oh yeah, you'd be surprised.
Painful. It's not worse than Twitch though.
The first thing that we will be doing sometime in November is the updated cocktail stream, where Aiden will devise 3 more cocktails. They'll be autumn related, and then we'll make that. And then we have the Blue Snow Shovel self-defense course. We have the calendar that will be coming at some point.
That will be coming when we're a little bit leaner, which we're both working on, I promise you.
We'll get
I hope it's visible, but we are working on it.
We'll get there. Also, we have the essay grading stream, which for those of you who may or may not be familiar, you guys are going to get to submit different essays based on a rubric that Aiden will devise. And then all of those submissions will then be graded first by you guys through the Discord based on a Google form that I create. You will vote for the top 5 essays that you want to see him grade live on Twitch. He will not have seen them before. I'll have looked at them.
Yeah, they'll be curated by our mod team.
Yes,
and then him.
Yes. And then he will grade all 5 of the top 5 on a Twitch stream live.
Now, you may be asking why Twitch, because I have a feeling these will not be YouTube safe.
We knew from the get-go, as soon as we asked you guys to write anything, that we were going to have to do it on Twitch, which is fine. It's fun. That's why we're doing it. But we just want to be able to allow you guys to have the freedom to have fun with it while also not being hurt ourselves. Then another one that we have is the Wendigo on Trial skit. We're going to have to figure that one out.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, if I sound off, it's because I've been sick since the middle of last week, so apologies.
Yes.
Then we have the Skunk Ape song and the Conspiracy Theory song, which will just be compositions that we make, record, and then the video will be posted probably YouTube or Patreon. I guess YouTube because they'll be originals.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it shouldn't be a problem.
Well, that's the thing is we'll win because we'll mark it as parody, but YouTube will probably knock us for it. So we might just not monetize them.
Fair. And then VeggieTales Revelation skit. We'll write the script at the very least. If we can find a way to get it animated, we'll try.
And if we can't get it animated, we had another idea.
Oh,
but we've got to get confirmation from our friend that she would be able to help us with this.
Yes. Also,
but you might get the most cursed thing you've ever seen.
Oh yeah. Oh, that'd be great. And then we have. Oh no, those are just 2 things that I need to do. It's just clear space on a hard drive and make the channel trailer. So
yeah, so if you guys manage to hit 2,000, I'll do the cat made stream.
I saw
it would be less if it hadn't been for the circumstances of our last couple of podcasts, which had a bit of input from other channels.
Yeah. The other which is here.
Yeah, well, maybe. He hasn't said anything in a while. I see you're not participating in No Shave November either.
No, I shaved when I got sick because I didn't want to be blowing my nose with a mustache.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So
I am participating, believe it or not. It's upsetting, but
and I'm not answering that question.
What was the question?
How far are we from 2K?
It's kind of funny because it's on the screen.
Yeah.
It's literally sitting on the screen. Do not give us more money. You just spent a bunch of money on us.
Hence why I was not giving him the answer to the question which he asked.
Yeah,
you're genuinely too kind.
You're very much too kind. Stop giving us money, damn it.
We appreciate
We're gonna have to start doing weird things. But yeah.
Start?
Yeah, I know. There's a bunch of super chats, but yeah, we'll answer super chats first, and then if we have questions that are still in the queue before 8:15, we will get to those as well. Throw them at us.
Two things. Alex Corp just said $2,000 goal. Wendidat as the Wendigo. Thornbussy as a show snubble huntsman. And Mattis as the cat maid for the Wendigo Goes to Court trial, appellate court edition. That could be fun.
No.
And then Wendigan said, "Where's the sexy calendar?" It's on the way. We said we're getting ourselves.
You saw us in a hot tub a week and a half ago.
Yeah, you know why.
You know the sexy calendar would at this point just be a calendar.
Yes.
Like. Let me pull this up and
I seem to also recall a donation made off camera that equates to 2K.
That does not count.
That is. I don't know if that's. I'm having trouble on that one. It has to be in the little corner.
He might have us there.
We did consider a hot tub stream.
I haven't cashed that check yet. I keep forgetting to do that. All right. So funny. I don't know if I can only access the ones from Wendigoons on, but Wendigoon for 50 cent for the grassy knoll joke. Thank you.
You always love a good joke. Yeah, he was the first one. So.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And that was the first one. So you're late, but you made it. Welcome. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good place.
What is this? Let's see. Cole McPherson says, "My brother in Christ, I need the new podcast episodes on Spotify. God damn it!
I converted them.
Yes, they will be going up soon. We're gonna do them in batches of 5 for the algorithm, and hopefully we'll have those monetized soon.
Are we recording this? Next time,
I'll download it for you. I literally didn't have space.
It's all good. I totally forgot to mention it as well.
Yeah. What else do we have here? Kellen, the official data, says, "Just a little of your tax money back in your pocket. Thanks for the content, boys." Ironically, that will be taxed.
Yep.
That's the thing is, after taxes, we only make like 50% of the super chat revenue.
Not even.
Yeah, it's about 20%. Ish. I don't know. Yeah, it's probably not even.
Yeah.
The taxation is, the biggest scam on the planet.
At least we have representation.
Do we though? Our state just elected a dead guy.
You're gonna have to explain that.
So we're from Pennsylvania, and Allegheny County, bless their hearts, just elected a guy who died a month before the election, and due to the rules, they couldn't take him off the ballot in time.
I mean, it's sad that he died, but what kind of system do we have?
That's not good.
Where that can happen.
That's not great. Let's see, what else do we have in here? Kaylin Kennedy for $10 just sent us $10.
Just exists.
Just Thanks. Funding cat made shenanigans. Okay, I see how it is. I need to write those lyrics for the metalcore Flesh Pedestrian song.
Should I add that to the list?
No, that's just something that has to be done.
Fair.
It was not a senator, it was a state representative, to be clear. I am not, believe it or not, I am not making a joke about John Fetterman. Like, that was, I'm talking about an actual dead person who got elected.
Yeah.
Like,
I do like the,
I like that Pennsylvania was like, you guys can have 2 options. Stroke man or TV doctor? Which do you choose? And we were like, anyone else?
like literally anyone else.
I would have voted for the guy who works at the local Wawa with absolutely no information.
I would have voted
for either of them.
I would have voted for Steve, who said, I just fix tractors for a living.
Yeah.
Not even the big ones. Just the lawnmowers.
Oh, this country is a joke.
At least you do something.
Yeah, I remember seeing those 2 candidates as the ones who won the nomination and just being like, I'm going to cause harm to myself.
It's a based county for the one that elected the dead guy.
No representation is better than bad representation, I guess.
I mean, yeah.
What else do we have in here? Corpse state rep.
We love that.
Scroll through. Natalie said my mandatory contribution to the lodge.
Much appreciated.
Scrolling through here. Oh yes, hot tub stream.
Somebody did say, what is the evidence of him being in Greece? I don't think.
Oh, there's no evidence for him being in Greece. That's just a place that I know doesn't extradite. Okay. And since it's in Europe, the United States does not have quite the same power to extradite him themselves, so to speak.
Yep.
If he was in, like, the Bahamas, we could extradite him.
There's an entertaining answer we could give for the second to last.
I will, but really quick, just because I was about to answer it before those came through.
Yep.
Let's see, can someone point me to the blue snow shovel meme? To explain that, one of our very first followers was a guy named Chad. And Chad stitched one of my videos about the Wendigo and, like, you know, how dangerous it was. And he goes into his garage and he's like, I'm going Wendigo hunting. And he like has an entire wall of like chainsaws and axes and pitchforks. And he like just reaches and he goes straight for the blue snow shovel and then walks outside with it.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay.
This was like first month ever.
Are you going to make drunk folklore a regular thing? Hopefully not too regular.
Finish it.
Don't want you being an alcoholic for internet likes. All right, well,
see,
the reason I'm an alcoholic is not internet likes.
I was hoping you were going to make the joke. That's what I was hoping for.
Yes, that is supposed to be a regular thing. I don't know why we didn't do it in October. I think we just didn't get to it.
Yeah,
but
we both had busy Octobers.
Yeah, we could probably do that. We can record the one for November on Saturday, I think. I can get drunk on Saturday.
What are we doing Saturday? Did you get tickets for opening night for Saturday?
What's opening night?
She texted us.
Right. No. I had a reason that I did not. But I can't remember what the reason was. It'll come to me.
I would say we do next weekend.
That's the weekend after Thanksgiving?
Yes.
All right.
Well, or we could also always do it Wednesday evening.
True.
That.
Yeah, but then I have to get drunk on a Wednesday.
Were you not planning to do that?
I wasn't planning to, but I mean, now I'm not opposed to it.
It's the Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
Oh, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Thanksgiving Eve?
Yes.
Yeah.
The night where everybody goes out.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
We'll definitely do that.
All right, cool.
So yes, you'll have more drunk folklore over on Patreon. That is the one thing, is those are going to be Patreon exclusives.
Yeah.
So, but the good news is you can get access to it for $1. We're charging you $1.
Yep.
It's not much money.
Nope.
But it is slightly more than we make for ad revenue. So.
Yep.
Kellen said, could be worse. I have to pay taxes to my employer. If it wasn't a gov entity, it would be smashed in court for pay to play. What else do we have? France doesn't extradite to the U.S. That's rude of them. We saved them twice.
They saved us once.
Well, yeah, but then we saved them twice. That means we're up 1.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just like, it's a reciprocal thing. We should have reciprocity.
Yeah, true. You got stuck. Fabled Bandito said you got stuck with the Pennsylvania orc. Oh, that's the sad part, is he's not even actually like some, like, you know, rural common man. He's like Ivy League adjacent educated.
Yeah.
And he just pretends to be rural. I just hate politicians in general.
Yeah.
Kira said, for being awesome allies in the fight against domestic abuse. Thank you.
Hard not to be.
It's time to abuse the abusers.
Now that's a movement I can get behind.
It's a t-shirt waiting to happen.
Yes.
Abuser? What? Does that work with... I would sell that and donate 100% of profits to the Gavin Petito Foundation if people bought it.
Oh, yeah.
I would do... I'll look into starting a website that just sells that shirt. That way I don't have to...
You just have a whole line.
Do the logistics.
Abuse your abuser, berate your abuser.
Yeah. Abuse against abusers is not abuse.
That's justice.
Become unabusable. Like, become ungovernable.
Yes,
like,
yes. Oh my god, that'd be great for the Lift Lodge.
Yeah.
Become unabusable and just people getting jacked.
And just all of the proceeds from every single one of these items goes directly to the Gavin Petito Foundation.
Yes.
I think that'll be solid.
That'd be hilarious.
We should do a line of those that goes to Gavin Petito Foundation, and we should do a line based on MMIW that goes to MMIW organizations.
Yes, 100%.
Right. And that MMIW list is going to come out in December.
Yep.
I think I have it pretty well put together at this point.
We're going to do a whole video. I think that should probably be, just considering, you know, I was the one that brought that up initially, and we both found out about it because of Wind River. We should do kind of like a mutual, this is how we found out, this is what it is, this is what
we're going to have a video that comes out outside of just the list
of
things, but we're going to have a video that comes out, and what we're going to do is we're going to analyze the plot and cinematography of the movie Wind River, which is about the topic.
Yep.
And then we're going to use that video as a way to raise awareness.
Yeah.
That's currently the plan.
Yeah.
Cole McPherson says, metalcore song, do you need a vocalist? We're not sure yet. It depends on how well I do. I'm a pop punk vocalist.
Yeah, but you learned how to scream.
I learned how to scream, and I think I do a pretty good job of it on stage.
You do.
But on stage versus recording,
you just have to like...
You got to be a lot more precise in a recorded version, you know? So
you just got to be comfortable with it.
Yeah, so we might need help for that. Or at the very least, we'll release the instrumental so that people can do covers of it, if Kalen's okay with that. Rock and Ruin says, Aiden, you're back home. How was your time with Wendigoon? Also, why did Nigel go back home before you? He went home because he's boring and has a 9 to 5.
I have a 95 job.
He's a 95 job. Laugh at the boring 9 to 5er. He has money. What a jerk.
Bold of you to assume.
He doesn't eat frozen pizzas 6 times a week.
No, unfortunately not. I just barely eat during the week. The reason that I left early, unfortunately, was because I had to leave for work. I was not able to take off time at that point to spend the rest of the time with them, though I would have loved to. I had massive FOMO while they were down there having more fun without me. Grr. No, but it was great. I was glad that I got the opportunity.
We vibed in the hot tub.
We did vibe in the hot tub.
What?
Just the conversation.
Oh yeah, we had great conversations in the hot tub. But yeah, it was a great weekend. Wendigoon is one of those guys that I can just wholeheartedly say is a good dude.
Oh yeah,
he is a great person and a very good friend. My contribution to the outside of the videos we shot together, my contribution to the weekend was, cooking.
Yeah.
How's my cooking? I don't want to be the one to say it.
He's the best cook I know. But at least in our age group, he's just fantastic. He cooked us burgers. It was amazing. I
made a spaghetti with a sausage meat sauce, and what I did for that was I took the sausage. I couldn't find. You know how up here we have just like the vacuum sealed sausage bricks that you just tear up and to make into patties. One I could not find one.
Oh really?
At the IGA in Tennessee.
Just giving me more reasons that I had FOMO.
Also, so what I did was I bought some of the Johnsonville mild Italian sausages, and I just cut them open and pulled them out of the casing.
Oh, nice.
Squished them around, threw them into the pot, and I just simmered them in sauce for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
So they just absorbed all of the tomato sauce. Oh.
Yes. Yeah, also, in addition to comments about Wendigoon, it was great meeting him from my perspective as well, especially considering I'm more of the producer on this show. And I was like, I know that they've had their thing with Weird Bible for a while. I was hoping, I was worried I might just be an extra dude tagging along. Felt weird. Because I didn't want to get involved in that.
You were valuable.
And I was. Well, but like, it was nice to feel valuable and also like not be considered, oh, it's just your producer. It's like, oh no, you're a cool dude as well. And like, I would consider him a friend after that weekend. And everybody that we met in relation to him as well were great people.
Yeah.
And,
His girlfriend is phenomenal too.
Yes.
She's a very good person, very fun person to be around. And we met his family and they were awesome. Like just genuinely good people.
I wasn't sure how much he wanted us to say.
I love Tennessee.
But
I love Tennessee.
Tennessee's great. Isaiah and every member of his family are fantastic.
Yeah, we felt very welcome.
Yeah,
which is nice considering I was a little worried about how a couple of Yankees would be received down there.
God, yeah.
Especially not in like a tourist area.
Yeah.
But it was nice, and I got recognized at a lunch place.
We also drove through Dollywood at 3 a.m.
Yeah,
that was fun.
I do want to acknowledge the $5 from Kiwi K. Yeah. Thank you. But yeah, it was a phenomenal trip, phenomenal people. Can't say enough good things, and I forgot how hard 5-mile hikes can be. Mm-hmm. It's been a while since I did that.
Yep.
But it was good practice. I'm gonna get some insoles for these boots, and we decided we're gonna go hiking. We're gonna try and go hiking at least once a week now. We got some local spots that work.
Yep.
Nothing quite as big as the Smokies, but
no.
Kira sent £1. Thank you. Thornbussy contribution addressing the writing on the wall.
What does that mean?
I don't know what that means.
I know what that phrase means, but what writing was on the wall?
Let me see.
It's implying things, but I don't know what it implies.
Bold to say this before I make you wear a cat suit.
He's got a point, you know. That's funny.
Where can you see Drunk Folklore? If you go to patreon.com/thelorelodge, for $1 a month, you can get access to all of our Patreon content. There are, of course, higher tiers for those who want to contribute more, but we wanted to make sure that kind of stuff was available, to as many people as possible while also giving us that contribution. Because Patreon's just a little bit more reliable than YouTube. Born Confused said, I was thinking of moving to Tennessee in 3 years once I'm done in Japan. How is it in Tennessee? I did love it. I absolutely would get myself a cabin in Tennessee.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
You're fine.
What was it? Alex said, look at previous mentions, and it's a chain. So it starts with yours being Aiden's contribution, meaning you, bold cat-made sensuality, and then Wendigoon's contribution, writing on the wall, and then my contribution, addressing the writing on the wall.
Okay, I didn't see the other. Nor
did I.
That is a reference. Do you know what that reference is?
No idea.
Okay, so I'm gonna. Where are my Bibles? Entertain the people for a moment.
Okay. In relation to Bibles, as he goes to get one, I will say
so many.
There are many, but more specifically, if you weren't there, we did a Weird Bible while we were in Tennessee, and so long as I'm continually invited, I want to do it more often because that was so fun.
They're fun.
So engaging. Reminded me how fun the Bible can be. And yeah, I think one of the best things, which they are more familiar with than I am, because that was my first time, but the amount of people who were there.
Dost thou well? To be angry for the gourd?
Yeah. The problem is we looked up so many different quotes for that, Now I don't remember what the original one in the KJV was.
It's dost thou well to feel angry for the Lord.
Yeah. But yeah, no, the amount of people who were in Weird Bible who said, I'm either an atheist or I'm a non-believer, I'm no longer of the faith or no longer heavily practicing, but this is interesting, this reminded me, like, you know, why Christianity can be really, like, intriguing to learn about and things like that.
Here we go.
Okay.
That was probably Christian.
Yes, it was.
That is Christian. Hey.
Alyssa.
He's right here. Archie, want to go see Christian? Go get him.
Woo. But yeah, I think it's
my
really
stepdad. He
yes
finances much of this.
Yes. Thank you for all the help that you have done. But yeah, no, I think it's really awesome that just in our exploration of the Bible and different interesting stories, even those who are non-believers can recognize the benefit of the stories. Because even from a secular perspective, even if you don't believe in everything that's in the Bible, you have to kind of acknowledge, at least if you're aware of it, the collective wisdom that is embedded within those pages. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
So I found it. So the context of this is that Belshazzar, who is the son of King Nebuchadnezzar II,
yep.
We're talking about the year 5, I want to say 520-ish, might be 532. Mm-hmm. Belshazzar has inherited his father's throne. He is now king of the Neo-Babylonian Empire.
Yep.
And Daniel and the Jews are still captive in Babylon. Now, when the book, a lot of people believe, just because of the wording, that the Babylonian exile was all of the Jews went to Babylon, and then all of the Jews were sent back from Babylon.
Yep.
No. The common classes, the artisans, the day laborers, slaves, all of them would have stayed in Judah
yep.
and Israel. Judah being the southern kingdom of the Jews at this time, would have stayed there. The nobility, however,
mm-hmm.
were all taken to Babylon. Mm. And they were educated in the Babylonian fashion, to believe in the Babylonian gods,
yep.
so on and so forth, so that when they were sent back to Judah, they would rule as faithful Babylonian servants. This plan did not quite go as well as the Babylonians hoped it would, and as a bunch of the Jews rose very high in the Babylonian court, one of them being Daniel, who was a very prominent dream interpreter, much like Joseph from the early Egyptian period.
Yeah.
The early Egyptian, as in the Jews being in Egypt. So Belshazzar, being risen to power as he is, has a feast. And you need to understand that the original Bible did not have headers, it did not have chapters, it did not have verses,
yep.
It had books. Mm. And they just went.
Yep.
Over time, as the Bible became less of a for the clergy and more of a for everybody book, the clergy added stuff in so that common people could read it more effectively. Mm-hmm. In some cases this was good, in some cases this made things a little confusing, but it's fine. But anyway, this one has headers for this section in Daniel chapter 5. The headers begin with Belshazzar's feast. And then we are told of the contributions to the feast. Mm. Belshazzar's contribution to the feast, unrestrained sensuality. Followed quickly by God's contribution to the feast, handwriting on the wall. Followed by Daniel's contribution to the feast, announcement of doom. If anyone ever tells you the Bible can't be funny, they are lying through their teeth.
Oh, that's great.
This is a hilarious book.
That is fantastic.
The people who wrote this book were well aware that there were opportunities to be funny.
Yeah. I love that in this comparison.
It is not only the greatest story ever told, it is also one of the funniest.
I love that in this comparison, you are Belshazzar, Wendigoon is God, and I'm Daniel.
Yep.
That is great.
Just truly fantastic. I did see a comment about Twitch just now. I will be back to regularly Twitch streaming in December. Partially because I'm not going to be set up to do it this week. I might manage to pull something off tomorrow night.
Look at the room.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
I might be able to pull something off tomorrow night. I don't know for certain. We'll see. But, and then next week, obviously, is Thanksgiving.
You know what?
What?
The Traveling Bard, thank you for reminding me of that. I'm going to put that on my Christmas list for this year. He said, all right, a couple questions. Pretty Boy Ranger's Apprentice, ? Lore Father D&D stream when? 2 things. 1, totally forgot about Ranger's Apprentice. Thank you for the reminder.
I think I have all of them. If you want to borrow them.
I don't want to get my own.
Right?
Yeah. You know me in my bookshelf.
Well, you've seen mine.
Yes. So I will put that on my Christmas list, and I will let you know when I read it. I want to know about your answer to D&D.
I would love to. It's just kind of hard to...
I did it
get
once.
People together. I know some guys who do D&D. I need to go to one of their intro sessions so I can learn how to play the game.
Yep.
And then we could probably do something. I bet we could get people together and do it at Nerd Merch.
I did it once with a few streamers back during COVID, and it went exactly as I expected. We were all in for about 30 to 45 minutes, and then it just completely devolved. So it was a nice introduction. It's a fun game if you're dedicated to actually playing it. We did it's not called a one-off. It's called whatever the proper name for a single session story is. But we would probably do that, and
I have all of them. Do you want to go through them? Because we read these on Wendigoon's stream, not mine. And God said to Jonah, "Dost thou well to be angry over the gourd? Dost thou well to be angry for the gourd? Do you have a good reason to be angry about the loss of the plant? Do you do well to be angry for the loss of the gourd? Is it right for you to be angry about the plant? Is your anger about the shrub a good thing?" That could fit right into Monty Python.
Yeah, wait, you know what we should do? We have the one shirt. We should do a shirt with bullet points of each version.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Is it right for you to be so angry about the castor bean plant?
I do love that that one is that specific.
Jonah, do you have the right to be angry about the vine?
The vine?
That one with the vine logo on it?
Yep.
Dost thou think thou hast reason to be angry for the ivy? These are fantastic. And I love the following one with that. And he said, "I am angry with the reason even unto death."
That is fantastic.
Do you think it is right for you to be angry just because this plant died?
That just sounds like God's leaning up against a post.
The wonderful thing about translations of the Bible is that you just get all these varied versions of God's personality.
Yeah. I would. You know what would be fun? Doing skits of things like this where it's a specific quote from different versions.
Yeah, that would be a fun little.
And we're essentially just acting out where it's like, do you have reason to be angry at the gourd versus, do you really think you should be mad about that? It'd just be fun.
Now listen, do you have reason to be angry for the gourd? Or... Do it.
I need to pick one.
Just found the channel. Great mix of everything I like to listen to while doing art. Also noticing the episode number. Nice. I think this is actually episode 70, but thank you. I may have done this wrong.
I think this one's probably the most accurate.
He's gonna JP impersonate here.
Is your anger about the plant? Or wait, hang on. No. Is your anger about the vine plant justified? No. Wrong. Move on. I don't know if it helps or hurts that I'm stuffy.
Art thou so angry for the gourd? I still love, is it right for you to be angry about the plant?
Yeah, that one's great.
Is it right for you to be angry because the plant died? Oh, this one I love too. from The Message, which is a ridiculous translation of the Bible. What right do you have to be angry about this shade tree?
Shade tree.
What else is there?
JD Pitty says, you have to save your father from the gourd.
I need to make that one. I do have the Pity for the Gourd band shirt designed. I haven't put it up yet.
The Laundrie stuff has been covered. Feel free to rewind.
Yes, we have covered the Laundrie stuff. We are into the section of the stream now where we just do nonsense.
You have to save your father from the undergourd. Oh, that's great.
Are you really so very angry about the little plant? That one's so passive-aggressive.
It is. It really is.
Oh,
You know what this reminds me of? I'm going to go on my artistic little rant here.
Oh, wait. Is it angry? Is it right for you to be angry about the bush?
Just put a picture of George W.
Dennis Martin be like, yeah.
People want to see the shirt. No, yeah, this reminds me. This is going to go very artsy here, so I apologize.
I don't have the shirt on me, but if you go to the lorelodge.shop and search Jonah, it should show up.
Yep. I have not seen, this is totally off topic, but this is just reminding me of it. I have never seen a full rendition of Hamlet's To Be or Not to Be soliloquy in a way that I feel like really does... And keep in mind, I haven't seen that many versions of it. It's maybe like 3 or 4. But in a way that really encapsulates the message of that soliloquy. And I think it's really interesting because a lot of people, and this is just coming from a conversation I had with somebody about Shakespeare. I feel like a lot of times when you see it, people read it and they speak it because of memorization. And the difference between a good representation of Shakespeare and a great is reciting the soliloquy as it's written, and then reciting the soliloquy as it's written in a conversational manner. And I think part of the difficulty that we had in high school going through Shakespeare, because I feel like a lot of people did, is because it's written in earlier form of English, especially like even then it was a bit heightened, right?
Yeah, I mean, would have been late 16th century English, early 15th, early 17th, so yeah.
So I feel like, you know, that's a bit of a disconnect for sure, but when you really break it down, you're able to see, like, if you really just read it line by line, word for word, you can totally understand in modern English what they're saying. And I really appreciate, because there was one that I saw that was really close, where they treated it as though, like the actor treated it as though they were having a conversation with themselves, which is what the soliloquy is. And that was like, that alone brought in my mind to not only the impact that soliloquy can have, but also the meaning of it. Because I feel like a lot of people will say to be or not to be, that is the question. They don't really know what that is actually talking about. Which, are you familiar?
No, sorry, I was looking at the chat and Caitlin Kennedy said, is it right to be angry about the bush, insert Manscaped ad?
Yeah.
Jeez.
But yeah, I think it's an interesting topic, and that's just me going on my little artsy guy rant for a moment.
Read that one to me.
Do you want to just read the quote?
Yeah, just read the quote, yeah.
Guessest thou whether thou art well wroth on the ivy? I gotta do that one more time. Guessest thou whether thou art wroth on the ivy?
Yep. That's the Wycliffe Bible, which is...
And I officially just got into...
14th century English. Let me pull up the chatty, I did see some super chats come through. Probably going to cut them off now because it's getting late.
Off topic, I was shopping at the store and heard somebody who sounded exactly like Jordan Peterson. It was there. Did you say that he was in Nashville while you were?
No.
Yeah, well, I think he may or may not live there now.
He probably lives there if he works in New York, but I only have up to the T.L. Lancaster one, so if there's ones before that, let me know. For most of history, Italy had not marinara sauce. Oh my god, you're right.
Yeah, no, that's the... Other than the most recent one, you're good.
Michael Beacon said, just found... Oh, I read that one already. Okay. I'm not as behind as I thought I was. Oh, the Kithbots are here now.
Yep, so I got rid of them.
It's better in its native Klingon. I really should wear our merch more. The band gourd shirt, that I will post probably tomorrow.
The band gourd?
Oh yeah, I have one that says pity for the gourd. I might be able to make this work.
You should be able to show it, yeah.
I think I have a way to do that. Let me see. You guys get to see my face up close and personal. Aren't I pretty? Aren't I very pretty?
He is.
Yeah, move this guy over here while I do this though. All right, so Canva. So this is the design I currently have, Aiden.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Let me see if I can. How can I? Will this do it? All right, I can probably set it up too. So there we go.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Ah, it's behind stuff, that's why. Come on. Ah, there it is. That's what's gonna go on the Pity for the Gorge shirt.
Love that.
So, if you guys have better ideas for font, let me know, but this is the best I could do. So that's gonna be a band shirt. Oh, hi. You're back there. But yeah, by the way, this is my progress on No Shave November. Isn't that upsetting? Move these guys back around. What?
I'm just
this is terrifying. This is awful. All right, so that, I think, is all the questions.
They said would look better as a cat, man.
Oh, God. So, anyway, thank you guys. You wanna get in for the outro?
I'm in.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you can, donate to the Abby Petito Foundation. They deserve it. They're doing good work.
Yep.
And we will come up with a synopsis video for the Gabby Petito case as well. You know, I really just, I do get a bit of a kick out of Brian's family being so upset over this Jeopardy question. It really does tickle me.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, no, fuck them. All right.
What is a homebrew stat block?
I have no idea what that means.
I mean, to answer your question,
I'm guessing it has to do with D&D. Probably. I will absolutely own that shirt and will confuse all of my metal friends.
Alex was asking about Exorcist case info.
Oh yeah, I know. I've been so behind the ball on that. After finals, I will have a lot more free time, but I have finals coming up, and I'm like, my mind is occupied 24/7.
Traveling Bard, yeah, we would use it. Do we still have a PO box?
Yeah, but I'm gonna open a new one closer to here.
Smart plan.
And I'm also gonna see if I can have it just route to my address.
We should check.
Yeah, we
should check if people have sent us anything.
We should check. Yeah, I'll make a plan to do that this week.
Cool.
All right, thank you guys so much for watching. We will be back with more content next week. Have a blessed evening.
See ya.